Today we have another vintage market watch, and of course the Yu-Gi-Oh market is still on fire. Everything's still booming, and yeah, we're just gonna talk about it. So first of all, we had a PSA 10 first edition Magic Ruler relinquished, selling for $3,200. Mind blown. Now, of course, this card is mega cool. I've been simping for it for a long time, but for a very long time it wasn't doing that hot. But because it's a cover card for MRL and a lot of cover cards have been on fire, you know, our 1000 Ice Restrict also doing great, Dark Magician of Chaos, Black Skull Dragon, obviously LOB Blue Eyes, but basically every cover card of the first Duel Monsters era sets has just been going up and up and up, and so Relinquished basically had to follow. Now, I will say this was PWCC, so we will be reviewing the previous PWCC block once they go onto the archive. So once we know that things were paid for, we will go through all of those once again. I just want to make sure that we cover them when we actually know which ones sold and which ones didn't. Up, we had a Cyberstein PSA 8 sell for over $15,000. Cyberstein is still on fire. We've been simping for Cyberstein for a very long time on this channel. It was the first Shonen Jump prize card, and enough said, broken, emergency banned, and la-di-la-di-da. Card still performing incredibly well. Next up, we had a bunch of MRD ones, and so I just quickly want to fire through them because the prices seem to be, you know, slightly below market or what we expected for market, but they all ended at the same time. Maybe that also had something to do with it. Regardless, we had MRD Gate Guardian first edition PSA 9 go for $760, which I think is quite low. We had a Summoned Skull first edition PSA 9 for $1,500, which is basically in line with market price. We had a Black Skull Dragon first edition PSA 9 sell for $1,000, which is pretty low, I want to say, for this card. At least compared to other things, that is. Of course, compared to 6 months ago, it is very high. Finally, we had a Thousand Dragon first edition PSA 9 for $860, which is basically in line with its price or slightly below what we think. I don't know. Overall, these all ended at the same time, so if someone was bidding on all of them, maybe won a bunch of them, they have their PSA 9 highest end cards of MRD in one go, so that's pretty interesting. Next, we had a Dark Magician from LOB, BGS 9.5, sell for $10,644. Once again, LOB, once again, Dark Magician first edition. We can't really argue too much with that. Overall, LOB has just been performing and performing and performing. Next up, we had an Exodia PSA 9 from LOB for $6,950. So this is another all-time high as far as I'm aware. The previous high was somewhere in the 6,000 as well, just not this high into the 6,000, because this might as well be 7,000. You just don't see that many PSA 9 and 10 Exodia pieces come up for sale, especially the head. Again, I can speak from experience here. I know getting a 10 set together is basically impossible. All of these cards are in the hands of collectors and or investors. There's not all that many flippers holding these cards. And so sure, your first piece you might find, you know, you just by accident, you go, oh, I found a right arm, cool. I guess I'll start collecting. But then you start looking for the others. There's one of them and I'll get that. But then another one shows up and you're like, oh, I already have that one. And then you wait. Months, weeks, months go by. Suddenly, oh, there's another piece, but that's the one I already have. And you just notice it's very, very hard to get the entire thing together, especially finding the head, because the head is the one that people really want the most. You know, when people start collecting an Exodia set together, they don't start with the leg. They start with the head. I don't know, this just makes sense to me. I think right now, if you're not buying a complete PSA 10 set at once from a big collector, or you're willing to really overpay for individual pieces, you're not gonna get a set together in 10 all that easily. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Either you show the ridiculously big bucks, or you got a connect that's willing to sell the whole set, because piece by piece, it ain't happening. The next best thing is the 9s. And even there, like, good luck. It took me, I don't know, did it take me 3 months, 4 months to get it together? Maybe 5? Yeah, it might have been 5 months to get my set together, which is, you know, quite a while. A portion of that, by the way, was when the market was a tiny bit colder. It was already, you know, heating up like crazy end of 2020, of course. But I'm just saying, we weren't in this level of hype just yet. So yeah, getting a PSA 9 set together, good luck. If you want to try a 10, even more good luck. Next, we had a TP2 morphing jar for $4,000 in BGS 9. I like TP. I don't collect it. I might pick some up when I see some for a good deal, but overall, it's not really my style. Regardless, you know, there's a lot of OGs really going ham on those TPs, so okay, I respect it. Morphing jar is definitely one of the bigger chases. Personally, I would really like to have a Fortress Whale, but it is what it is. I'm not really FOMOing to get one right now. Next, we had a SDK 8.5 sell for $4,000. So of course the first edition, once again, 4,000. That's quite a fair bit. And interestingly, we had an SDK BGS 8.5 as well for 2,300. So that really shows you the difference in PSA and BGS. You know, these should be the same grade, technically, right? So you could say, oh, but this won't cross or this will cross, whatever. Technically the same number is on there, and this card sold for almost double in the PSA slab. So you can either argue PSA is beating BGS better than ever before, or you can say the guy with the BGS 8.5 got a way better deal. These auctions, or sales by the way, were 3 or 4 days apart, so really, you can't just say, oh, that's the market changing. That's literally just a BGS PSA kind of difference. Next up, we had a Stardust. That was an interesting one. It wasn't the PSA 9 or 10 or whatever. It was actually a signed Stardust Dragon Ghost Rare. And it was authenticated because of the signature. I think it was the protagonist's voice actor for Yusei. One little thing though, this only got one bid. So that's a little bit sus. You know, usually an auction, when it has actual viewers, it gets multiple bids. One bid is kind of like, okay. Regardless, I wanted to give you the data. Maybe it gets relisted, maybe it doesn't. Next up, we had a WP11 full set actually selling, which is interesting. So on this channel, we unboxed a few packs of WP11. We got some really cool pulls. We also experimented with some Gugon on them to try and get some waxing or whatever you want to call it off. So love those cards. Some of them are huge hits for me, others not so much. But the full set sold for $3,000. Wow, none of them graded by the way, just the raws. I would really like to see what kinds of grades these get, because man, it doesn't seem that easy to grade. When I saw all of those backs, I think this guy might be getting a bunch of 6s and 7s, while others might be 10s. It's really up to the back waxing, in my opinion, or well, the scratching. It's not just waxing, there's some actual surface lines as well. Next up, we had a BPT Red Eyes PSA 10, sell for $2,125. I've been loud on this channel before that I think a lot of BPT cards are pretty undervalued. Now they seem to be climbing quite high, in my opinion. I think even a Blue Eyes sold for like 5,000 or something crazy like that. Some might say it's justified, I don't know, but that's still like, you know, a wild amount of gains. But hey, then I can pat myself on the back for being right in September, right? Then again, everything has gone up, so everything could have been a genius by just pointing at anything. So yeah, 2K on Red Eyes. I really like this card. I personally don't own any of them. I have one being graded right now. I don't know if it's going to be a 10, probably not. I remember something being off, but I don't remember what. Maybe some whitening somewhere. I don't know. So I'm not holding my breath. This doesn't really help me. It's just a really cool card in my opinion. Next up, we had a BPT tin sealed for Blue Eyes. Sell for apparently 2K. Now again, it's very possible that someone privately messaged this guy, got a better deal or whatever. But if we are to believe, you know, this sale, it's $2,000 for that Blue Eyes tin, which is wild. Because remember, if you open these, your Blue Eyes is probably going to be a PSA 6 or 5 or worse with all of those back scratches and weirdness on there. Next up, we had a BPT Blue Eyes, like we mentioned before, the 003 of $5,250. Once again, we don't know if that's been paid for, maybe a private offer or something like that, but 5K for BPT 03. Wow. These are very low pop. Like if you check the 10s, these are low pop. I don't know how much the pop is gonna go up. I'm personally grading, you know, quite a few of this and the 9, so just be aware of that possibility. But usually if you open the tins these days, they're just destroyed on the backs. Finally, we had a Gaia, the Dragon Champion LOB PSA 9 first edition for $3,000. Gaia doesn't really get much love on this channel, and that's really weird because I really like the card. My brother actually used to have the figurine, so literally the Curse of Dragon with the Gaia on top was really cool. I was always impressed. I had the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I really like that card. It just doesn't seem to come up that often. So 3K for the 9. That's certainly a high price compared to what people are paying for the other Chase secrets in other sets. But then again, it's LOB. You're automatically gonna have your LOB tax. But yeah, 3K for a 9. Wow. I don't have a Gaia yet. I'm kind of sad about that. You know, there's quite a few cards that I would give up for a Gaia. Oh well, it is what it is. Hope you found it interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.